Wired Zero's Weekly Roundup, Episode 1.
The Russians have a long history of interfering in elections, theirs and other people's.
I'm going to be very frank with you and the American public. I think that today, the most deceptive propaganda to date was perpetrated on the American public.
From Russian hackers, last week's Senate cybersecurity hearing, high-tech vehicle displays, groundbreaking UFO video, and smartphones listening in on you. Welcome to Wired Zero's Weekly Roundup. I'm Joe, and with me today is co-host Joey Wolf. Smartphones. We've all been there. Talk around your phone, later to jump on your computer and see ads for exactly what you talked about.
Yeah, for instance, like last night I went and got new boots, and I was telling Joe about it when I got home, and next thing you know, I'm on YouTube 3 or 4 hours later, and I see ads for boots and other shoes. It's pretty wacky stuff.
Apparently, we're not the only people that run into this.
Ooh, okay, our next topic has sparked from real-life experiences from many of our coworkers. Ever notice that you have a conversation with a friend or a family member, and suddenly you see advertisements on your phone's Facebook ad or sponsored posts on your Instagram feed? Well, this left us wondering, are our phones eavesdropping on us? And if so, how do you turn the darn thing off? We've got a tech expert here to explain these targeted ads, how they work, and how to protect yourself. But first, those real-life experiences we talked about, check some of them out.
So earlier this week, I'm talking to my wife on my personal cell phone. We're talking about having to book a hotel room this weekend up in New Jersey. We're going there for my daughter's dance competition. That's all we did. Talked about it on this phone. 4 hours later, checking my Facebook feed on this phone, up pops the exact city, exact hotel we're talking about, and deals for that hotel. That's crazy.
My story is just as crazy.
I've run into this where I think the algorithms can detect even the tone of your voice. I mean, I've gotten emails for things that were, crazy. I even did an experiment one time. One night, all I said was boat lifts. And before you knew it, next morning, I'm getting emails for companies that do this.
Talking to my mom about totally random pink lawn flamingos. And we
Were you talking on the phone or just?
No, just we're walking down the sidewalk, getting some coffee in town, phone in my hand. Hours later, I'm on Facebook, and it's like, here's where you can buy pink flamingo themed cups, glasses. It was so odd, so freaky.
Well, yeah,
and we were talking about this.
No, just like how people use the voice to text. I mean, your phone, you just have the option of you just hit your phone and then you're talking, and then you could say a text message without having to type it, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Right.
Yeah.
So you don't think it's just passively on? Like that's how Google is gonna monopolize the ad industry.
It's already there. In my opinion, it's definitely already there. The algorithms to detect emotion, all that is there. I mean, the amount of data that's being compiled and farmed out. I honestly think this is just going to keep getting worse and worse. I mean, you don't own your phone. You can't disable this. With the phone, you've lost all forms of privacy, in my opinion. The desktop computer is the last place you can have privacy, in my opinion. And that's even being lost with, Windows 10 and Cortana, Siri, and Amazon's Echo. I mean, it's all... privacy is gone, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Yesterday, I'm going to Atlantis later this month, and so I'm showing them on my computer where I'm going to stay, and then later I see all these ads for Atlantis, on my Facebook, everything. It was crazy.
So I wasn't even on my phone or on Facebook. I was over at her computer while we were talking about Atlantis, and I had my phone right here. Several hours later, I open up my phone now on my personal Facebook feed. I have advertisements to take a trip to Atlantis.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's kind of funny.
What's that?
How they're like approaching it like it's a joke or like abnormal or like kind of spooky.
No, absolutely.
None of them were taking it seriously. It didn't look like any of them were honestly taking it seriously, but it's happening.
They don't care. And I think most people don't care. I mean, I care. I like to have control. I like to have at least admin access to stuff I personally own. But I mean, I guess for businesses, this works out. But for, human privacy, it completely doesn't. I mean, you talk around your phone, and there are systems listening, and that data is being farmed out and paid for. We are all product at this point. I think that's where it's gone to.
Yeah. And it's taking off in America because we're the best country at consuming things.
Oh,
That's
absolutely.
what we're good at. That's what America is, all about consumers.
Now, let's see where this news team goes here.
7:30. It did work.
It didn't work.
Okay.
Fine, yeah.
Being rich.
All right, joining us to tackle this crazy topic is tech expert Pete Erickson, the founder of the tech company Modev. Good morning to you.
Good morning.
Okay, it is a talker.
Yes.
How in the heck is this happening? That's the first question.
Well, we have been giving computers a lot of information for a long time, right? So we've been doing Google searches for a long time, and all that information goes into big databases, and we have a profile out there about who we are. Now our voice is becoming one of those inputs, and so marketers have figured out how to get access to our voice. It's up to the consumer to really understand how to turn off these capabilities so that marketers, can't just listen to everything that we're doing.
But you're doing something so benign as you're talking or do whatever. How, again, is there embedded software? I mean, I don't remember giving it permission.
That's right. So I think.
Yes, you do. Yes, you do. When you install those apps and it asks you for your location, for your address book, for your pictures, right there, they've pretty much told you what they're doing. That's just my opinion.
What's really important is, and what people are going to learn, what they're going to figure out is that they have to look at the settings on their devices. They have to understand when they've allowed somebody access to their microphone. So go into your settings. Does Instagram or Facebook or Twitter, do they have access to your microphone? And if they do, then you need to understand what that really means.
It means they have access to your microphone.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no on your mobile devices, on your tablets.
Meaning it's permanently on.
There's no getting away from this.
I mean, this guy is even saying that you need to download apps or programs you have to watch what you give it access to. But it's already on. As soon as you buy the phone from Apple, from wherever your retailer is for your phone, it starts right there.
Absolutely.
Soon as your name's on there, your name gets thrown around to databases, whatever, and your account's linked to YouTube. Okay, what's under your YouTube likes? What YouTube videos do you like? What purchases have you made? It's your name following you as soon as you sign up on.
Oh, absolutely. Every account you create.
Yeah.
Oh, definitely. I mean, with an Android phone, when you buy it, the Google search is planted there. You can't even remove it. You have to actually install a whole new launcher for your phone in order to get rid of that. So in order to even disable some of this, which is, it's not even disabling all of it, just some of it. Let's see more of what this tech that they have.
You go back there. A lot of times that happens when we first download the app, and then those options will come up and say, Twitter would like access to your microphone, etc. If you already said yes, can you go back somehow and undo that?
Yes, you can go into your settings and turn things off. And what really drove a lot of this, there's somebody here joining us, this Amazon Echo here sitting in the middle of the on the table here. Over 3 million families have bought Amazon Echo now. It's in homes, so people are really becoming aware of this kind of voice interactivity. So Amazon Echo. So Alexa, tell a joke.
What's the best Christmas present in the world? A broken drum. You just can't beat it.
So not only is your phone going to be monitoring you,
dumb fucking tries
you're going to go ahead and put something in your house now that's going to listen in on everything that's going on around you.
And it's going to tell you really bad jokes at the same time.
Yeah, it should be free. I mean, because they're going to be making money off it. But yeah, this is insane. People are going to buy into it. Enough on this. We know that they're listening. There's nothing you can do about it. Turn your phone off, take the battery out, whatever.
Throw your phone out of a moving vehicle is honestly the only answer.
Yeah, I mean, I only have a smartphone for necessity because I have to monitor things. But if I didn't have to have one, I wouldn't have one. I mean, it's convenience versus privacy. I mean, that's the way it is. When Gmail came out, that's in their terms. They told you, we're going to sell your information. I mean, we lost privacy a long time ago. But enough on that. Back on September 5th of 2016, I did a video regarding a Fox News report on Russian hackers. I predicted that it's going to definitely have something to do with the upcoming election, and right now it's having more impact than I even anticipated it having. there's an agenda here that's going deep. I don't know what it has to do with the upcoming election, but it has something to do with it. They're already talking about that. This having an effect in the November election process. I knew it was going to have something to do with something. That I knew.
It's pretty crazy how early you called that, man. I remember you making a video about it.
Yep, I knew there was something in the pocket they were going to use later, and they sure are. Especially with was it Thursday or Friday, with the Senate's cybersecurity hearing. So yeah, I'm going to go ahead and play a little bit of that.
The committee meets this morning for the first in a series of hearings on cybersecurity to receive the testimony on foreign cyber threats to the United States. I'd like to welcome our witnesses this morning, James Clapper, Director of National Intelligence, Marcel Latre, Under Secretary of Defense for Intelligence, and Admiral Mike Rogers, Commander of U.S. Cyber Command, Director of the National Security Agency, and Chief of the Central Security Service. This hearing is about the range of cybersecurity challenges confronting our nation. Threats from countries like Russia, China, and North Korea and Iran, as well as non-state actors from terrorist groups to transnational criminal organizations. In recent years, we've seen a growing series of cyber attacks by multiple actors, attacks that have targeted our citizens, businesses, military, and government.
Well, thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. I want to commend you for your leadership in promptly scheduling this hearing on foreign cyber threats. I'd also like to welcome our witnesses, Director Clapper, Undersecretary Letra, and Admiral Rogers. Thank you.
Try to decipher a cyber attack. Please. I'd love for them to try to do it. Oh, all I know about that is that they got credit card numbers, bank accounts and stuff like that. Basically, if you go after these people's money, that's when they're going to get, when they're going to make a big deal about it. They don't care about anything else.
Absolutely.
That's what they're going after.
However, there is one individual who I think nails it on the head.
Great to have you with us tonight, John. I appreciate your time. Characterize what you heard today on Capitol Hill. How conclusive is it?
Well, I'm going to be very frank with you and the American public. I think that today, the most deceptive propaganda to date was perpetrated on the American public. The data that was presented, the evidence was called from a thing called the Grizzly Step Report, put together jointly by Homeland Security and the FBI. In there are 4 facts which they claim prove that Russia did this hack. It was utter nonsense. The information was, number 1, Russian language was found in the malware. Number 2, a Cyrillic keyboard was used. By the way, the forensic science can now tell what...
Why wasn't he speaking? Why did they not call him in?
Because he's making sense.
Exactly.
Those types of people are not allowed in hearings. No, you know who is allowed in hearings? Fox News. That's about it.
Yeah,
and
John nails
get a lot out of that.
John nails
it.
A
lot out of Fox.
John nails this.
What type of keyboard was used to develop a piece of malware? Number 3, the compiler, that is the piece of software that compiles the code so that it can execute, always dates and timestamps. It said that the timestamps were in a time zone for the business hour.
At this point in time, the people that pretty much everyone in that room would have been like, I have no idea what he's talking about. Let's just tell him to leave. That would be their standing at that hearing if he happened to be there.
Yeah,
but as soon as he said malware, you lost 99% of the people in that room, like right there.
Not to mention keyboards or timestamps and compilers, and VPNs and hiding, IP addresses. No, they have no concept. So, and these are the people that are making decisions. But yeah, John's delivery is, he's perfect.
Of Moscow and St. Petersburg and other places in Russia. And then number 4, that the IP address pointed to a Russian address. Now, let me go through this and try to make it very simple for the American people. If the CIA wanted to hack Russia, the things you would not do is you would not include the English language in your software.
That's a no-brainer right there. I mean, come on.
Because that would then exclude everybody except English-speaking nations. You would certainly not use a keyboard that everybody knows that the CIA uses, whatever keyboard they use. You'd have them use a Chinese keyboard or something else. you would certainly remove the date and time stamp from the program so that you couldn't tell what business hours or what zone you were in when it was compiled. And number 4, you would absolutely not have an IP address that points to you. Because, seriously, if Russia declared war on us because we hacked Russia, and the head of the CIA or the intelligence committees came to Congress and they said, well, what happened? Oh, well, you know, we didn't have time to remove the English language. We didn't have time to remove the date stamp. We didn't have time. The guy that couldn't use the
They're
Chinese
actually
keyboard.
hurting
So we
Russia's reputation as hackers, because there's a lot of, I'm not going to say good, but good in the sense of what they're doing is justified by normal moral standards, but their skill in hacking is quite exceptional, I believe. A lot of big hacker groups who know what they're doing are out of Russia. So this is basically saying that their hackers don't know what they're doing. And now basically, if I was in Russia and I happen to like hacking, I'd be like, all right, well, fuck it. I'm going in hard. I'm just going to mess as much shit up as I can now, because they say Russia is basically the housing amateur hackers.
Oh, absolutely.
Right?
Oh, definitely.
gave him our regular keyboard, and you know, it was my wife's birthday, so I could not remove the IP address. Please, that person would be scheduled for.
It's insanely stupid that these people are making decisions, and when they have no place to be making these decisions.
Yeah.
So apparently, WikiLeaks is going to be releasing some new information tomorrow. They have something they're going to deliver regarding the Russian hackers. But my prediction is, we're coming close to our president being, our new president being brought in, and they're building up to something. Hopefully nothing happens, but with all this, I guess we wait and see what happens.
And I'm very pleased to admit that my country's main news source was more concerned about how fast they moved Obama's shit out of the White House than everything else that was going on in the world. That was kind of good to me. I felt safe knowing that my country was aware that Obama's stuff was getting moved out of the White House safely and efficiently.
And you know what? I do think more and more people are waking up. The mainstream media, their whole entire coverage over the election, even coming up to the election, pushing Hillary in the polls, and how, obviously now in retrospect you look back and it was complete false information. And I think more and more people are waking up, thus their whole entire how they're going after the fake news, which is actually real news, and the fake news is what they consider real news. So yeah, with that, let's wait and see what happens. But my prediction is there's more beef. There's more to come here with this. This story is not dead yet. All right, now on a serious note, time for some cool tech stuff. Now, I know a lot of us out there hate people who are texting and driving, so this technology I really dig. It's by Navdi, okay? It's high-tech displays that aim to make driving safer. Get this.
Keeping your eyes on the road and staying connected while driving can be difficult. Tech company Navdi is changing that.
Navdi projects your maps, your calls, your music, your messages, all directly right in front of you.
It syncs the car and the phone with an app. This is how it works. Navdi uses a display panel mounted above the steering wheel on the dash. A dial controls it, and information from your phone projects onto the panel. This allows you to answer calls and read maps without being distracted.
You basically glance down slightly when you want to see the information, but also because it's projected out in the distance, the road stays in focus at the same time.
The device retails for $800.
Now, as much as I hate people being distracted on the road, I think this is a step up from texting because it's right there in your, in your windshield.
But then on another side note, I mean, why can't people just fucking drive?
Well, that's never going to happen. I mean, people are going to be distracted by technology.
Yeah.
So, the biggest thing I see wrong with this is the price tag. $800 for this.
Nobody's going to buy it.
It's never going to work.
It's not going to be in the working class. That's the market. I mean, if you want numbers and sales, that's the market you want to get at, the working class. Nobody's going to buy that. That's almost that. You're looking at them. That's like it's pretty much rent for the average house in this country. So
Almost. And yeah, I never see it work. And I think a $100 value on this would possibly work. But, people are just so accustomed to texting on their phone, man, that, I see the benefit of this, but with the price tag being what it is, it's not going to happen.
Yeah. The people in the Tesla cars will get them probably, but.
Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me if this starts becoming stock in your higher end, vehicles. But for the average person to upgrade their car, with this device to be able to utilize their smartphone, just don't see it happening. Cool idea, not going to happen.
On November 11, 2014, at 1:52 p.m., a Chilean Navy helicopter crew observed a very strange object flying over the ocean. They noticed that the velocity and the altitude of the object appeared to be about the same as the helicopter, and estimated that the object was about 40 miles away. The technicians filmed the object for about 9 minutes using their infrared.
Thanks for watching the first episode of Wired Zero's Weekly Roundup. We really appreciate it. Don't forget to subscribe below. We got plenty more cool content coming your way. For now, Wired Zero out.